First, he throws there and makes it. Isbell scores, and the game is tied at 3.
And that call brings in Mark Leiter Jr. to face MJ Melendez. And there he goes. Pitch is high. Throw to second. Got him! Oh, what a pick by Volpe! So Garcia is out trying to steal for the final out.
Oh my goodness, on a one hop, he was able to grab the one hopper and tag the runner. Got him before he got to the bag. Must have been by a millisecond. Hey, here's Judge. Got to be a home run bid coming at some point. He is a top hitter. Now his 11th game without a homer.
High fly ball, right center. Isbell on the run. See ya! A home run for Judge. It'd been 10 games coming into today without the long ball. But he hits one here and gives the Yankees a 4-3 lead.
Bounced. And a big 90 feet for the Royals. And that's heads up by Garcia, knowing with a pitcher who throws a lot of splitters that there's a good chance one of them is going to end up in the dirt.
That's right. So now, in all likelihood, a single away from tying the game. Line to right field. On the run is Bellinger. He dives and makes the play. And the Yankees win 4-3 on a sparkler by Cody Bellinger. And the Yankees sweep the Royals.
Comes down to the last swing of the game. I mean, the guys battled. You know, we knew it was going to be a tough game. All these games against these guys are. I mean, they're guys competed like crazy. We like that matchup. I mean, Johnny's really tough on righties. He tends to keep the ball on the ground. He's had some, you know, knows how to pitch to Judge, but he's a really good player, and he beat us right there.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's a rainy Thursday, April 17th, 2025. Stephen St. John here with Jake Gutierrez. Thank you for joining us. Today on the show, just after 7 o'clock, we'll chat with Buster Olney, our MLB insider from ESPN. Then Gary Dieter and Anthony Sherman will be in studio in the 8 o'clock hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, Jesse Newell from the Kansas City Star will be with us. We'll talk about the Royals and Yankees. That series was a disaster. And so far, this road trip has been a disaster. 1-5 with 4 games to go in Detroit.
Take 3 or 4 from Detroit, and it's an all right.
Well, yeah, okay,
right.
Great.
I mean, they can salvage it. We talked about it before they went into what would be acceptable.
Yeah. Well, they better pull their heads out their asses when they're at the plate, because they don't score enough runs to win. To beat the White Sox. They could beat the White Sox 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
With this offensive output, because this output is offensive. Get it? I said with this offensive output, but this output is offensive.
Offensive. It offends you. I get it. It's a trend. Thought they had it last night.
Well, I would just be honest. I'm not being negative. I never did I think they were going to win that game. Just because of what we had seen the previous 2 games.
Oh, I'd hope at the end.
I didn't feel good.
I didn't feel good about it.
Look, and I'm watching it with a beautiful group of people. We're great. By the way, great spot to watch a ball game. Johnny's Tavern in Parkville. Nice and roomy, spacious, great staff, delicious food, and one of my baseball guys with me, Anthony, and he's just, he sits down, and I love him. He's been one of my dear friends since high school, but just, as soon as he sits down, there's no way we're going to win this game, right? I said, well, hey, how are you? Good to see you. He goes, this offense is terrible. And it was almost like he had been waiting to see me to just let loose a 5-minute tirade. Just he wanted, get it. Because look, here's the deal.
That guy knows baseball.
That
guy knows baseball.
Yes, very much so. But you have certain people, you're not gonna. And I see you do this sometimes. You have some strong opinions about like soccer or the Premier League or whatever else. And sometimes I see, and then you empty out on Nate and just tell him you've been holding back on something, or you have these complaints or whatever. You're not gonna say that to me, because I'll look at you and I'll say, I don't know what you're talking about.
You'll say, all right.
What the hell are you talking about?
I believe you.
Or with me, when I get around certain people, I'll give you a good example. I'll have someone come up to me and say, hey, you know what? I really like when you talk boxing. I'm a huge boxing fan. And I go, oh yeah, you're a boxing guy? And we'll start throwing names out, and then all of a sudden, and I'll just start talking about stuff, because few people will get what I'm talking about. When I was at the Golden Gloves last night, I was like a pig in poop, man. We're all just talking about
your people. Who's
going to win this fight? Oh yeah, love it, right? And so Anthony and me are big time rotisserie baseball nerds. We love baseball, and he'd been waiting to see me to vent about the Royals offense as we watched the Royals game. And look, I get it, man. It's anyone that loves the Royals, anyone that follows the Royals, this has been super frustrating. And so the Royals lose again last night to the Yankees, 4-3. They scored first. They found themselves down 3-1. And when it was 3-1, we were kind of kidding, but also not. It's over, 3-1, insurmountable lead for the Yankees. And then, boom, they scored 2 in the 5th. I'm like, hey. I said, they tied the game.
Oh, they can get to 3.
And then Anthony says, okay, you take the Royals, I'll take the Yankees right now, let's bet. I said, no. Nope.
Getting to 3 runs isn't the problem.
No.
They can do that. Yeah, it's a bet not to take.
And you know what? Royals starting pitchers, man, getting through 5 is not an issue. Seems like you get to that tricky 6th inning and things start to get whatever. Just so frustrating. And look, tip your cap, Aaron Judge. One of the best player in baseball, one of the best players in baseball, best hitter, one of the best hitters. Right now, he's the best hitter. He's unbelievable. I mean, there's nothing you could say bad about him. He's great. He's fantastic. And it just sucks because, Aaron Judge, solo home run, yep. He does that to a lot of people. But man, and look, they weren't blown out in these games. You're talking about. I know some people roll their eyes and hear, well, these guys competed and they were in it and everything else. Well, yeah, they're a professional baseball team. They should. They shouldn't get patted on the back just because they went out there and tried. But you could see that they're there in the neighborhood, but they're just a bat or two short.
That sounds familiar.
Again. It's like the same thing we were talking about after losing to the Yankees in the postseason. Man, they're close. Exactly, they got to add a couple of bats.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, you could see it. It's just offensively, it's not enough. It's not enough. And I know that this series has led us and led people to talk a lot about the bullpen. And okay, was Quintero perfect in his bullpen usage? No, I have some issues with it. I didn't love it. I really didn't.
But that wasn't the problem.
I didn't love it at all. That's an issue, but that wasn't the biggest problem. Okay? Now let me tell you something. Here's I just said I'm not going to talk about the bullpen because we're going to focus on the offense because that's a problem. But let me talk about the bullpen, okay? I'm just going to throw this out there.
Zerpa had a nice clean eighth inning.
Yeah,
He did. A couple strikeouts. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. There were a couple of games out there to be won, right? And we can go situation by situation. I think I can find a couple of spots. Maybe you think you can't. Maybe you'll disagree with me. But something doesn't sit right with me that they just had that 3-game series against the Yankees, and 2 games were razor thin in the margin between the Royals and Yankees, and we never saw Lucas Erceg. We never saw Erceg in that series.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know. I don't understand that. I've already said that I wish they would have gone to him instead of Zerpa in Game 2.
Yep.
I don't know. Quintero is in love with certain, like the lefty-lefty, righty-righty, certain matchups on paper where I think he's. Look, man, there's nothing wrong with adhering to analytics and having a belief system where you believe in matchups. You had and what did he say again? It sounded like a repeat of when he's talking about Zerpa. Oh, we love that matchup. Well, maybe you shouldn't love that matchup too much. And I mean, I don't know.
We like that matchup. I mean,
No.
Johnny's really tough on righties. He tends to keep the ball on the ground. He's had some, knows how to pitch to Judge, but he's a really good player, and he beat us right there.
I feel like I feel like we should have seen Erceg at some point in one of these games. Am I wrong there?
No, I mean, I had the same thought last night. Same thought.
Like, especially these last 2.
Well, it makes you think something's wrong with him.
Well, he was warming up last night.
But that's what.
But like you have this weapon in the bullpen, and you saved him for certain situations that never happened. But again, that's the school of thought. That's the philosophy he has. I thought for Erceg, and that's why Estevez is the closer, to be able to give him the flexibility to use Erceg in different important moments in late innings. It doesn't just have to be the 8th. It doesn't just have to be the 7th. Hell, it could be the 6th, whenever. When you feel like the game's on the line. I don't know. 7th inning, tie game with Judge coming up.
Seems like a nice spot for him.
Who do you want facing Judge?
Your best? Your best, right?
Okay, and so that's what I go back to.
Yeah.
And look, I get it. You can't use the same guys every night. You're going to wear them the hell out. But right now, who has shown that they are the best pitchers in the bullpen? Erceg, Estevez, Lynch. Right now. Hunter Harvey, but he's unavailable. Is there anyone you want to put in that group? I don't think there's anyone you want to put in that group.
No.
Okay? Estevez, Urseg, Lynch. Those three.
That's the back end.
And I just like it bothers me the last two nights to watch the bullpen blow it with Zerpa and Schreiber. And you never used Urseg. And again, you're somewhat compromised because of Harvey, right? That definitely made a difference, not having Harvey. That's why it sucked so bad when he went on the IL on Friday. But you have Lynch now. Did he look good last night? Yeah, I'm glad they used him. And yeah, and guess what? Zerber did look good. Great. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm not going to be mad that he looked good, but you know what? I was like, okay, where was that yesterday? Where was that the day before? They can only help him if he figures things out. That's great. That's good news. But where was that the night before? And so, look, I like John Schreiber. I really do. But there's just like, when you look at it big picture, like, damn. The Royals bullpen lost the last two games, and they never got to use Urseg. And I'm not going to say Estevez because he's the closer, and he's the ninth inning guy, and he has a defined role, and I get that. But and I'm up for debate. I'm not. I don't want to use Urseg there. But who's the guy that you're most scared of in that lineup?
Judge.
He went 3 for 3 with 2 runs scored. He had the home run. His slash line is 409, 519, 803. Did you hear what I just said? He's hitting 409. His on base is 519. His slugging percentage is 803. Do you know how many times they got him out last night? None. Okay? Seventh inning game on the line. And again, man, I'll listen to people that don't agree because I'm not. Hey, man, it's just an opinion. I just feel like, you just had a tough, hard-fought series against the Yankees, and in games 2 and 3, the bullpen blew it, yet you never used Urseg. Jake, where am I wrong there? And I'll hear it.
I'm not gonna say you're wrong. I'm in step with that. It's slightly baffling. If you have a guy that's your high leverage guy, and you have high leverage situations, and he's not used, not only once but not twice, 2 opportunities. It's a little baffling. It's a lot baffling.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know.
Because both those leverage situations cost you. I mean, they're pivotal moments in the game. Pivotal. So, it'd be nice and fresh for this 4-game
no kidding.
series
They
with
better
Detroit.
use the hell out of Ursay against Detroit.
Right.
That better be the upside of this. No kidding. I mean, I'm with you there. Bubic wasn't terrible.
He battled. He battled. I mean, he had a couple innings that struggled through, but 6 Ks got you into the 6th. No. I mean, he did not have his best stuff last night, but he managed the damage, got out of some jams. No, you can't say anything wrong about Bubic's performance last night. Wasn't his best, and yet he still managed to keep the game in reach.
Yeah. And Schreiber did a nice job. He came in, in the 6th inning, got 2 guys out into the inning. And so then you can go to him. Because he ended the inning, you can go to him, and then you can go to Urseg in the 7th. But they left him in there to face Judge, and again, look, tip your cap to Judge. He's incredible. You know, I mouth off about him around Dieter because Dieter makes me hate everything. But I mean, Aaron Judge is just so, like, I just read those numbers. He's so phenomenal. But again, I can live with him beating our best guy. Because sometimes that happens. It's like the previous night. If the Yankees beat Urseg, then you tip your cap to him. But I just feel like Urseg deserved a chance at some point to make a difference in this series. And he didn't. Didn't even get the opportunity to go out there and pitch. But like you said, the upside, Zerper looked good, so maybe he gets his confidence back. Daniel Lynch continues to look terrific. But the offense just isn't good enough, man. Hey, Kyle Lisbell had another big hit. He went 1 for 3. And when we talk about the lack of production from the outfield, he's not part of it. And Melendez, and going into the 9th inning, he was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. But when that ball left his bat, I thought, tie game. Jumped out of my chair. But Bellinger made a very, very good catch. And if you're Melendez, man, that sucks. That's bad luck. But, again, it's results-oriented. That's what we look at, and he went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. But he came very, very close to getting the game-tying hit. Drew Waters went 1 for 3. I got mad and fired off a text message to somebody, our man Wes Wilson, who was out there at Yankee Stadium, going through it.
Yeah, I actually went back and forth with him yesterday too. That's funny.
He was going, because I think he's just reaching out to Kansas City and to make him feel better. And I just went. I said some irrational things.
Well.
You want what they were?
I would love to know.
That's DFA Renfroe. Send down Melendez. Bring up John Rave. Have Waters and Rave play the corner outfield until Jack Kaggs and Gavin Cross are ready. I don't want to see this anymore. And then I sat back like, that none of that's going to happen. But I was venting. I'm allowed to do that. Absolutely. We all are.
Well, I mean, those moves might be imminent.
Are they?
We might see that happen. If things continue the way they are.
The Royals scored 7 runs in the 3-game series against the Guardians. They won one of the games. Then they turn around, and it gets even worse. They score 6 runs in this series, and they don't win any of the games. Bro, they have scored 13 runs on this road trip, right? We're 6 games in it. They've scored 13 runs in 6 games on this road trip. That's god-awful. 0, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It's like it's like the count. 1, 2, 3 runs. Ah. Sweep. Stupid. How do you feel? How do you feel about it? I'm nowhere near as mad as I was yesterday.
Well,
it was like,
I'm going to reserve my anger until after this next 4-game series.
I'm not even mad about it.
Right. I mean, I thought this was a real possibility. They could get swept by the Yankees. absolutely thought that.
Oh, yeah, because they refuse to score enough.
Right. Yeah.
But also, here's the thing that'll bother you, and maybe it doesn't. But if I would have told you they're going to hold the Yankees to 4 runs every game, you should at least get a
one.
game.
Yeah, yeah, you would think at least
and
one.
then guess what? Maybe
one.
2. You'll sign up for that.
Yeah.
In Yankee Stadium, in that ballpark, you will sign up. You will sign up for holding that team to 4 runs every game. But that doesn't matter when you can't score more than 3. You won't score more than 3. So even though we focus, and I, like a dummy, sat there and talked about not using Urseg at all, the biggest problem is the lack of offense. But this is nothing new. We talked about this in the offseason. They traded for India, but they did not add the corner outfielder that they chased, that they wanted, that they needed, that they still need to get. That's not going to change. They can't close their eyes or they can't fold their arms and blink like I Dream of Jeannie and make the outfield better. That's not going to happen. They hoped and they wished in the offseason that Renfroe would get back to what he was and Melendez would take a step forward. Neither has happened. And then the problem is several other players in the lineup have underperformed as well. And then this is what you got. But knock on wood, that's not wood, this is wood. Knock on wood, Detroit's lost a couple in a row. Nobody is playing great in the Central. And despite the Royals having so far a bad road trip, they're only 2.5 games out of first place. Hashtag blessed. And like you said, a good series in Detroit can wash this dirty, filthy, stinky, skanky, caca taste out of our mouths by getting swept. That's what it tastes like. Getting swept by the Yankees.
I didn't know what that tastes like.
I can only imagine.
Okay, there you go.
Do you think it tastes good to get swept by the Yankees?
It tastes a little like piss.
Wow. Well, you do know that.
I do.
And let me tell you something. This guy, I'm just assuming that getting swept by the Yankees tastes like caca. This guy, when he tells you that getting swept by the Yankees tastes like piss, he means it. So, boy, you better listen, Kansas City. Go ahead and listen to the other shows. They don't got a guy that can tell you that losing this series tastes like pee. I got a guy that can tell you that, and he means it because he's a looper. You heard of the TV show Hanging with Mr. Cooper? I'm hanging with Mr. Looper. I feel like at some point they could cancel this show, just like right in the middle of it.
That might happen.
We'd never know we were off the air.
Hey.
But you know what? We'll go down swinging.
They went to ESPN programming.
I'm staring right into the camera. I'm daring people now. I challenge you to find better analysis than that. Take that to the water cooler. Well, maybe not.
Don't.
Maybe not. Maybe somewhere other than the water cooler. Let's break now.
Please.
We absolutely, definitely need to restart the show. We'll do better. Back after this on WHB. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810. WHB, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We'll talk to Buster Only coming up soon. Real soon. We'll move on and get ready for, and look, even though it's the Yankees and we want the Royals to beat the Yankees, even though they refuse to, the series against Detroit is much more important because that's the team on top of the division. And I think that's the team that the Royals ultimately are going to have to overcome to win this division. It might play out, and it might end up being Cleveland, and those early returns are not good as far as the Royals facing Cleveland. But Detroit, as I said, they've lost a couple of games in a row. They are sitting at 10-8, and that series starts tonight in Detroit. 5:40 first pitch with Lorenzen on the mound. And then we get Reagan's Friday, Lugo Saturday, and Michael Wacha on Sunday. The Royals will have to face Tarek Skubal. That's going to happen on Sunday. And they got Casey Mize going on Saturday. He's off to a good start. They've got stud prospect Jackson Jobe, who's going to go Friday. Yeah, man, you're going to see some arms. You're going to see some arms in this series. You're going to see some arms on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from Detroit. You're going to see why I like them to be one of the top two teams in the division, the Royals and the Tigers. I'm not going to give up on that. Nor should you. But this is a bigger deal. You want to beat the Yankees. It's fun to hate the Yankees. But this is about winning the division. And you need to take care of business against Detroit. So, there's an article at MLB.com as they identify, the title of the article is put together by Jim Callis, Sam Dykstra, and Jonathan Mayo. They are the minor league and the prospects experts for MLB.com. Here's a potential impact call-up for each organization. Who they pick for the Royals?
Jack Caglione.
No, oddly enough. It's amazing that they didn't.
Wow.
Well, I think they're talking about someone that's ready.
Right now. John Rave.
No, amazingly, they didn't pick an offensive player.
What?
Which makes this one of the goofiest articles I've read.
No.
But hey, I like this
Okay.
kid. Local kid. I'll take it. Noah Cameron. And they write, hold on to those Jack Caglione call-up hopes for just a little bit longer. Cameron has dominated AAA batters since his arrival at Omaha last July, and he's continued that success with a 1.65 ERA and a .92 whip and 18 strikeouts through his first 3 starts that have spanned 16 and a third innings. He's yet to give up a hit on his plus low 80s changeup and has generated a 45% whiff rate on the cambio. Now, on the 40-man roster, he's performing like the next starter up when Kansas City needs rotation help. Well, they don't need that right now. But I just mentioned that because that's important depth. And if they do have a starter that needs a brief IL stay, then they can dip into the farm system and go with Noah Cameron. And I'm not suggesting Noah Cameron, but also, let me circle back to the offense. If I sit here and tell you that the Royals need to do something, the Royals at some point are going to need to make a move. If it's not going to be, if the solution doesn't come internally, they're going to have to go out and acquire a corner outfielder. Well, what do you have to have? You have to have something that another team wants. And what the Royals have, they are deep right now with starting pitching. I mean, look, if you're another team and you're looking at Noah Cameron and you have a spot in your rotation, you slide him right in and feel great about it. But also, I want to keep him in the rotation, but I don't know. Does he go the Bubic Lynch route, where if they need him in the bullpen as well? They've had success with taking left-handers that are starting pitchers and having them help out in the bullpen if there's not an opening in the rotation. St. Joseph native and St. Joe Central High School alum Noah Cameron. Joetown, dude, let's roll. You like that?
Love that.
So I did want to mention, even though I'm not demanding that they call up Noah Cameron, I wanted to highlight the fact that he's pitching very well, and he's either an option. And look, it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. One of these starting pitchers is going to have an IL, whatever. It's
inevitable.
You're not going to have 5 healthy starting pitchers the entire year or whatever. There's going to be a time when they need him, and he's pitching lights out right now. And also, it's exciting because he's from St. Joe Central.
That's where my mom went to high school.
Well, why don't you love this kid?
I love him. I love St. Joe. My mom was
specifically this youngster.
I'm all about it, but also,
what?
Like you mentioned, I'm already starting. Let's look what teams are slowly fading away out of the, Rockies, White Sox. What's sitting in their corner outfield right now? That it might be a nice trade piece. Hate saying that, but
why do you hate saying it?
Well, because I don't want the Royals to deal him, but
him. I thought you were talking about.
I mean,
you hate saying that the White Sox are out of it.
No,
they were out of it when the season started.
Right. I'm just saying that Rockies are off to a horrid start as well.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah, but I mean they have to start looking at something in terms of trying to make a deal.
I don't want to trade him either, but you imagine what you could get for him? Hopefully a lefty like that?
A really nice corner outfielder.
It would have to be. It would have to be a lot. Like, I thought maybe in the offseason, like, hey, maybe Lynch. I don't want to trade Lynch now. He's too important to the bullpen.
Yep. Especially with Harvey going down.
And that's an evergreen statement you just made.
Mm-hmm.
What are you giggling for? I'm going to guess this won't be the only stay for Hunter Harvey on the IL this year. And they need Lynch. But, hey, there's nothing but good news that Noah Cameron's pitching well. And I wanted to mention him because he was written about in that article. So there you go. That's good, dude. Easy to root for Noah Cameron.
You're a baseball roto savant.
No.
Nick Martini or Hunter Goodman do anything for you?
Oh, no. Probably Goodman over Martini, but I would just... That's just an awful question you just asked me. Like, what are you trying to accomplish here?
I'm looking for corner outfielders. Apparently that's why the Rockies suck too. They don't have anybody in their outfield either.
Like, are you in a deep league? I mean,
I'm not. Not for me. For the Royals.
Oh God. No.
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 All right. I'm looking.
Look at me. No.
Okay.
Bad Jake.
That's why I'm asking. I need to know these answers.
Well, I gave you the answer there. I don't like that at all.
Sean Borchard?
No.
Apparently that's why the Rockies suck.
Oh no, the Rockies are barely a major league team. No, seriously, look at some of that roster is terrible. No, there are names like I'm not like I had to research because usually like in our roto auction and draft I've got the depth charts and everything else, and I'm like, who in the hell is this starting outfield? Who is anyone?
No, I wasn't. I was just saying that the depth of teams, and that's what your roto experience. So you would know more about these guys than I would. But apparently nobody knows about these guys.
No, apparently no. I know about them and I don't want to.
Right.
No, there's nothing there. You're knocking at the door of an empty room. You don't need that.
Right. Well.
It's like there are certain teams they have no expectations, no hopes. They're already out. Like the White Sox. Like Lewis Robert, he's going to get traded. He's going to go. He's struggling right now, but he's going to go. There's already some guys that are going to get traded, but that is yet to reveal itself until we get deeper in. So, just cross your fingers. Marlins are always looking to deal. You always dip down there. The Rays are ready to make trades. I mean, the guy that, and again, this is all dictated by whether or not a team is competing and whether or not they feel like they could do something, right? But a team that the Royals had talked to and a player that the Royals had talked about that I like a lot, and I don't think it would be like some ridiculous offer that they'd have to make, but I like Taylor Ward, and they have been linked to Taylor Ward. Like, there's a name, right? But the Angels are off to a 9-8 start, and the Angels kind of look all right, and they're thinking, well, maybe we're a playoff team, and as long as the team's thinking that, then they're not going to make a deal. But I'd love to have Taylor Ward. He's already got 5 bombs. I mean, is he a superstar? No, but he had 25 home runs last year, 750 OPS. His career 758 OPS. Got some pop. I'd take him in a heartbeat. But the Angels got to decide they're moving. You know what I mean? But that's a player that the Royals have been linked to in the past a couple of times as far as a trade partner. I like what you're thinking. I like what But again, if you're me, or if I'm them, or if I'm you, or if you're them, how does that work? I don't know.
Or if I'm you?
I'm finding a way to get John Rave on the 40-man roster and then getting him up at the big league level and exhausting that option. Because, again, not a superstar, but I do think he can help. And a good all-around player. They can play all 3 outfield positions. Got a little bit of pop, got speed, smart player. Has done his time in the minors, 27 years old, and he's hitting very well. There's really nothing else he could do to earn the spot. Just keep doing what he's doing. But you go. Let's go another 50 at bats, right? Get everybody 100 at bats so we can all see it and know it, and then make your move. Get him on the 40-man and get him up here. While you're waiting for teams to wave the white flag and declare them sellers, okay? But you know what? More playoff teams, less sellers.
Yeah, we saw that last year.
And teams will stay in it, think they're in it longer. But there's already teams that have been identified. There's teams out there ready to deal. But use what you got first, in-house, to try to make things better. Royals got to score more runs. And I do think we're got to make some better decisions with the bullpen. But I don't know, what can he do with the lineup? He's tried. I mean, you can't cover all the holes. And the guys that are supposed to hit need to hit.
Right. That's a big problem right now.
9th inning, I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to lie.
Don't lie.
Runner at first base and Salvi's up. Come on. So this is a Salvi spot. He's going to do something. Grounded a double play.
Yep.
I mean, you got Salvi up with a runner on first in a one-run game, right? There's your chance. You got one of your guys up there, but he grounded a double play. And then runner at second and Melendez up. Credit Melendez. Got Goodwood on the ball. Looked like that was going to be a hit. Bellinger made a great play. So there's a little luck involved there, too, especially with the Melendez spot. But they had their chances in the ninth inning. And the struggles continue. But turn it around. I like your optimism. Turn it around. I know it seems ridiculous to say this, but win 3 out of 4 in Detroit, and then you come home 4-6, and you didn't get buried on the road trip. And like we said, it also matters where they get that 4. And if they can get at least a couple of wins, I'd love to win 3 out of 4 against Detroit. But go beat Detroit a couple of times, you're all right. You're all right right now. You're only 2.5 games out. But damn it, they got to score more runs. Says the genius. Oh, really, dumbass?
Hey, don't talk about my friend like that.
I have issues with him. Oh, good. Show more Yankees highlights.
No thanks. Moving on.
Well, that was a hell of a catch by Isbell, though. They're showing that.
Yeah. It's a great play.
We'll be right back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. What's up, Kansas City? Steven St. John here from our friends at Diamonds Direct. And I don't know if you know this, but diamonds are April's birthstone, so it's a perfect time to shine and perfect time to visit Diamonds Direct. Whether you're getting engaged, celebrating an anniversary, or shopping for Mother's Day, or graduation, You got someone graduating next month? Diamonds Direct has gorgeous options, great value, and custom designs. Go see my friends at Diamonds Direct, located off 119th and Row. That's where I shop for I bought a nice bracelet there. I bought Susan something wonderful. We got new wedding rings at Diamonds Direct. Got my daughters and stuff there, even the boys. I've shopped many times at Diamonds Direct and always been very, very happy with what I purchased. Also extremely happy with the customer service. My friends Angie and David and Tom, all great people, very experienced, and ready to help you make a purchase that you are going to love. Whether you're shopping for a ring, a gift, or just browsing, they're going to help you find something perfect just for you. And don't forget, free cleanings and lifetime upgrades. Yes, please. I'm telling you, go to Diamonds Direct off 119th and Row. And when you stop by Diamonds Direct, be sure to tell them Steven St. John sent you.